So the purpose of this channel is self-realization, or to reach our highest state of being, our highest state of bliss. Just that kundalini awakening, samadhi, oneness, whatever you want to call it. We want to reach our highest state of being. And one of our strategies for getting there is to research the sages and the saints, because the sages and saints have already reached that highest state of being, and they left us some instructions. It's kind of like God is playing hide and seek with us, but the sages and the saints, they already found God, and they telling us God is over there, go look over there. So that's what this is all about. Paramahansa Yogananda versus Swami Prabhupada. Both of these guys have left very clear paths on how to reach the highest state of being. But these two paths have a lot of similarities and they have a lot of differences. So this is going to be a concise video. So I'm only covering some of the main similarities and differences between these two divine paths. Let's start off with purpose. Both paths agree that the purpose of life is to reach God consciousness. And here's a video of Swami Prabhupada.
The movement is to awaken God consciousness of the human being. The human being is distinguished from the animals, that the animals cannot understand what is God. Mm-hmm. And if the human being also does not understand what is God, then he is animal.
So both agree that the human body provides the greatest opportunity for realizing God. If you're not utilizing this human body for realizing God, then you're basically living like an animal, because that's the main difference between the human form and the animal form. The human form is equipped with the chakras, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but it has all of the systems necessary for reaching the highest state of being. So Paramahansa Yogananda places an emphasis on practicing Kriya Yoga, and Kriya Yoga is a meditation technique. And Yogananda provides very detailed instructions on how to practice this technique. I'll place them in the section below. Here's an audio clip of Paramahansa Yogananda.
Then it is pleasure to work with God. With God the world is a nest of happiness. Without Him is a nest of sorrows. So remember, on this occasion, that we are bringing the consciousness of living Christian life. All day long when I see you all working incessantly with pleasure and smile on your face, I know you are working for God, not working for your own pleasure or your own physical comforts. When I see you meditating, I know you are with God and Christ and the great ones. Happiness, true happiness is the goal of life. And true happiness and God are identical. For even in evil, people are seeking God. Like in an acre where there are mostly broken glasses and a few diamonds, people go after the little glasses shining with the light. Then after they bring those little glasses near their vision, they say, well, it's not the diamond. Unless you find the true diamond of happiness, you will never be happy seeking the pseudo-shining glass of happiness. True happiness lies within simplicity of living and whole living in God. That's why God, Christ and the Masters have sent this self-realization as a new dispensation to give freedom to people. Establish the temple of true happiness in the souls of men. That's what self-realization teaches. The technique of meditation, recharging the body battery with cosmic energy and helping your fellow beings. And this is our theme, and we are marching on. This work has spread all over the earth, and self-realization is marching on. For it is not a creed or dogma, but a science of the soul and spirit, how the soul descended from the cosmic consciousness into the earth and the body and the senses and property consciousness, how it can disengage itself from property and body consciousness by yoga concentration from the body itself and the plexus and then the ganglia, and reach the Christ intelligence in creation and God the Father, God consciousness beyond creation is the purpose of this work. And as you feel by the practice of Kriya Yoga, the presence of a happiness that you never felt before, the true happiness of meditation, the ever-increasing happiness of meditation produced by Kriya Yoga is the proof of the existence of God. This was the greatest thing Master told me. When I asked what is the image of God, he said, right when you sleep, you are formless, you are sleeping in space, you are the image of God. The daytime you become a man, nighttime you become a God. Be a God in ecstasy with ecstasy in the daytime and you are God all the time. I said, that made sense. When I practiced Kriya Yoga and was filled with ecstasy, the joy that I couldn't find eating ice cream or having an automobile ride or talking to people or playing, when I sat and practiced, I found the presence of God. Church must be a church of God. To give them God consciousness, or it is a misnomer. It must be a living presence place of God.
Essentially, Kriya Yoga is an 8-step process. It involves the yamas and niyamas, which are proper ways of living. Because if you're not living your life in a proper way, it's harder to find peace in meditation because the mind is always agitated. So after the yamas and niyamas, there's asana. And asana is a proper posture, normally with the spine erect, focusing the gaze on the third eye, helping pull those energies up the spine. And that's your asana, your posture. Next, it goes into pranayama. And pranayama are techniques to control the life force energy within the body. So it's different breathing techniques, different visualizations, and a couple of more things. But the lessons go very much into detail. And after the pranayama, you go to pratyahara. Pratyahara is when you focus your attention within the body. So instead of the senses pointed towards the external world, pratyahara is when the senses turn inside the body. And the body is the temple of God. So if we want to go into that inner temple, we have to turn the senses within the body. So that's what pratyahara is all about. And after you dwell in pratyahara for a while, you go into dharana, dhyana, and the 8th part is samadhi. Samadhi is the state of nirvana, the state of bliss, the state of God realization. So Yogananda's main offering are the Kriya Yoga lessons. And it's a process. When you apply for the Kriya Yoga lessons, they're mailed out to you over a course of at least 6 months. I forget the exact term. But you actually practice meditation every day throughout this process. And then after you fully make it through those initial lessons, you're introduced to Kriya Yoga in actual practice. Swami Prabhupada places emphasis on 3 things. 1 is chanting the Harekrishna mantra. Either chant and sing and dance to it, or you can meditate on it. In meditation, it's good to get some japa beads. Japa beads have 108 beads. And you go around and you say the Hare Krishna mantra 108 times. And this is really good for just focusing the mind on God's energy. Here's a clip from Swami Prabhupada.
And Hare Krishna means what?
Hare Krishna means addressing the energy of God. Hare means the energy of God, and Krishna means God.
So even if you believe in the law of attraction, where your attention goes, your energy goes. So this Hare Krishna mantra is bringing your attention towards the energy of God. So your energy goes to the energy of God. Very simple. Swami Prabhupada said this is one of the only things. If you do just one thing, chant the Hare Krishna mantra with full faith. So the next thing Swami Prabhupada suggests is the sharing and hearing of the pastimes of Krishna, because like Krishna is the source of energy. So as we read about the pastimes of Krishna, it's like we're being reminded of our true self. So whenever you're reading about this, it's like, whoa, it's hitting your consciousness a certain type of way, because you're actually seeing how God is moving inside of a human form. So just by seeing these transcendental activities, it automatically elevates you through just right association. The same way like reading the greatest book ever would motivate you. Just by seeing a personality of Godhead, you're naturally elevated whenever you share these stories, whenever you hear these stories. So the third way is through bhakti yoga. And really all of this is bhakti yoga. But bhakti yoga is basically work without the desire for the fruit of your work. So a lot of the time in Western society, we work for the fruits of the work. So like you going to work to get a paycheck. You're doing this in order to get this fruit. But bhakti yoga is all about working for God. You're working for God. You're not working for the fruit of your work. You're doing it for the action of it. You're dedicating the action to God and doing it with the most attention, the most love. Because you're not just doing it for a paycheck at the end of the week. You're actually doing what you're doing for God. So the main difference is Yogananda suggests reaching God realization through Kriya Yoga. It's all about silence, pulling the energy from the root of the spine all the way up. And Swami Prabhupada is about Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, the main things involve hearing and chanting the holy name of Harekrishna, and discussing the pastimes of Krishna, and devotional service without the desire for the fruits of your labor. So which path is better? Which one is faster? Man. So people, when I go to, I like both. I'm a Kriya Band. I practice self-realization and meditation techniques. I also enjoy Bhakti Yoga at the Ishkan Hare Krishna temple often. So when I'm at the Bhakti Yoga temple, people always say Bhakti Yoga is the best way. Bhakti Yoga is the easiest way. Everybody can practice Bhakti Yoga because all you got to do is chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Don't waste your time with other stuff. But then when you go to the self-realization temple, Kriya Yoga is the fastest way to reaching God realization. There's no better way to reaching God realization. And I actually think they're both right. It depends on the person. And whatever path you choose, you got to have full faith in your path. So I understand the Bhakti Yoga people saying that Bhakti Yoga is the highest path, the best path. And I understand Kriya Yoga saying that meditation is the highest path. I understand Christianity saying Christianity is the highest path. Because you got to have full faith in whatever you're doing. That's the main thing. Full faith is what leads you to God. So which path is best for you? It depends on really... They're both very true paths. It depends on how you are. For some people, they might be better at meditation. Other people might be better at the Bhakti Yoga, the devotional service, the very active way. So whether it's stillness or whether it's activity, or maybe it's a little bit of both, because I like both. And in self-realization, it's more so you chant Om. At the Bhakti Yoga temple, you chant Hare Krishna. And one time they were having a lecture and I asked like, yo, what's better, the chanting of Om or Hare Krishna? Because they both are backed up by the scriptures and they both are very powerful mantras. So at the Hare Krishna temple, of course, they're going to say Hare Krishna. And you could dance to Hare Krishna a little bit more. Hare Krishna is fun to dance to. It's fun to chant. It's fun to be with friends chanting the Hare Krishna. But I like Om for meditation. So I like both, honestly. And I'm going to leave this discussion open for maybe some people to leave their input. And I want to come back in. And as I learn more about both paths, as I go deeper into my meditation path, I want to come back and I want to share my insights. Because right now I'm only sharing from my state of being. So who knows? I might have missed something. Maybe I'll ask something later. Maybe some people will comment in the section below and we'll come back in and talk a little bit more. But I feel like these two paths are actually one path. It's all going to the same place. I love Swami Prabhupada. I love Paramahansa Yogananda. And trust your path. Have faith in your path. Peace. Namaste.